What's going on, folks? WrestleRage live here on WrestleRage Radio. It is Sunday night, and we're back. We are back for another fun-filled PG edition of WrestleRage Radio. We are live on our home, the place where it happens, the place where it's at, beyondringside.com. We have got fans listening nationwide. Stan Grubb will be joining us very soon. He is on assignment. My co-host and producer, as always, the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane. What's going on, brother?
Not much. Been sitting back enjoying everything from the final of the Tour de France to the Crown Royal presents the Jeff Kyle 400 at the Brickyard at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Been sitting back watching a little bit more from Lucha Underground as well as Paragon Pro Wrestling. So it's been a little bit of everything today.
Man, that is fantastic. I have been doing nothing but work. But you want to know what? I'm excited. We have got Impact Wrestling superstar, my good long-time close personal friend, the man, Tyrus, is live with us at about 9:30. He'll be checking in, telling us what he's been up to the last year involved in Impact Wrestling, what's going on, taking care of the champion, Ethan Carter III. It's going to be a big night on WrestleRage Radio. This will be the PG version of the show. I got a letter from the censors saying, hey, SmartRage, Mr. Sunday Night, you need to tone it down. So I'm going to try to tone it down, keep it right at a mellow level. You know what? I'm just got to keep it mellow, man. Got to keep it mellow. You know, every time I attempt to say the F word, there is a shock collar around my neck that is controlled via satellite in Bessemer, Alabama, and Fast Eddie Lane has the remote control.
Can I help you?
And he will shock me if I get out of line. Now, Eddie, don't take liberties now. I trust you.
Would I do something like that other than...
If you'd ever played a sport in your life besides checkers in the Glee Club, you'd know.
Well, you know. So, Eddie, what's going on in the world of professional sports entertainment?
Like I said, it's been a hell of a week. You've had a lot of things take place. Of course, last night, UFC Fight Night actually exceeded expectations. I was had a chance to, when I got back in from Pell City, Alabama last night at Global Championship Wrestling's Red, White, and Bruised, had a chance to catch up with UFC Fight Night, had it on my DVR last night. And there were some great fights. There were some good, solid fights. Now, one thing I'm genuinely looking forward to, next Saturday night, I will personally not be able to see the first time around because I will be hosting Jake's Saturday night karaoke contest at Jake's Southern Caribbean Cafe in Pelham, Alabama. But next Saturday night, UFC 190, Rousey Correa, Women's Bantamweight Championship is going to be on the line. And I'm just going to sit back and say this. There is a very strong possibility. Okay, anybody who thinks this fight is going to stop after one round, yeah, that might not happen. So you've got, in the form of Beth Correa, someone who can genuinely probably surprise a lot of you in the upcoming bantamweight title fight against Ronda Rousey. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be going into a lot of detail this Tuesday night on Back to Basics.
You know, Eddie, I was going to go off on you. This is a wrestling show. This is not MMA. This is not Bessemer City, Alabama. I'm calm. This is WrestleRage with SmartRage. Stan Grubb's on assignment. My buddy Eddie is producing the show. But I hope Ronda Rousey makes her opponent tap. You know, speaking about tapping out, did you see the video of Roddy Piper defending Hulk Hogan the other day on the Rich Eisen show?
No, did not see that.
It was the absolute most bizarre interview I have ever seen Roddy Piper in. I don't know if he was working Rich Isaac, but I don't know what he was on. But he was like an ADD kid that ate 458 Skittles. He was going everywhere. If you guys have a chance, check it out. Go to find Rich Eisen's YouTube page. It's up there. I may believe I've posted it on the WrestleRage Facebook page. I know I posted it on my personal page. It was bizarre. So speaking about bizarre wrestling news, did anything happen on Friday in pro wrestling that would shock the world of pro wrestling?
I believe Mabo brought it up because it was breaking
Who?
news. Okay, we brought it up during Beyond Ringside Live earlier today. And yes, there was extreme breaking news that shook the world of professional wrestling down to its core. And that's the fact that Destination America has opted to not show the 7 o'clock showing of Ring of Honor. The fact that they're going to go ahead and drop that showing to bring in another form of entertainment, but they are going to keep the showing that comes on at 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. So I thought that was very huge breaking news.
Well, that was not the exact news I was talking about. That's pretty big news. I don't know why they were. I'm going to assume that Ring of Honor's ratings were not strong for that, for the 8 o'clock hour. And, in 2015, if your TV show is not producing ratings, you get pulled out of the time slot, another time slot. But that's not what I'm talking about. The world of pro wrestling was shaken to its core on Friday when former WWE Hall of Famer, the immortal Hulk Hogan, was apparently fired for his alleged racist comments. Is it alleged racist comment? Because I don't want to be sued for for slander. Is it alleged racist comment, Eddie, or is it racist comments he made because they were made public?
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the word allegedly as well.
Okay, so allegedly, Terry Bollea, the man who plays the character Hulk Hogan, allegedly made a bunch of racist comments, went on a racist tirade in 2006, unbeknownst to himself that he was being recorded. And the WWE lost $50 million in stock. They had to scramble and take care of... They had to stop the bleeding, essentially. And they fired him. They fired him to save face. They fired him because that's was the corporate thing to do. Personally, do I think Hulk Hogan's a racist? I don't think so. And that's just my opinion. You can send me hate mail or hate tweets at SmarkRage, all caps, on the Twitter. You can send it to the Facebook page, The Smarks Rage. Send me a private message if you want. Hell, blast me in public if you want. Send it over to WrestleRage Radio, Smark Rage, and stand on the Facebook. But I personally believe that he is not a racist. And that's just my opinion. And, opinions are like a-holes. You see, Eddie, you thought I was going to say the real word. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one. I think this damaged the 61-year-old Terry Bollea, who played the character Hulk Hogan. Will he recoup from it? I think eventually. I understand why the WWE backed away from it. But the other thing is Vince McMahon in 2008, 5, 6, 8, 9, one of those years, said a racist, derogatory comment to John Cena on camera in a satirical way, and they came out with a press release about it, and they said that it was satirical and it was Vince playing a character and their characters. Eddie, what do you think about it? Because, how could you say that you're being satirical and use a word that African American people describe their friendship with one another versus the word Hulk Hogan used, and not be hypocritical in doing it.
There's a very fine line, and I personally am not a fan of the situation. If you're going to be on any kind of medium, you should have enough respect for your audience to not utilize that type of vernacular, regardless of what type of character that you are playing, regardless of what stereotype that you're being cast into. Earlier today, we brought out this clip, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it back out. It was when Booker T actually used the word in reference to Hulk Hogan. And
expect the same thing is going to happen
here we
in
go.
this four-quarter match.
Let me tell you something, Gino. Can you out here talking about a clique? The only clique you need to know about is the Harlem Heat and Sister Sherry. See, because what you dealing with here is the brotherhood. It's non-stop from this point on in WCW. We take what we want, and after we take Lex Luger and the Giant, we want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Now, first off, if you watch the video that is currently on YouTube that I took the audio from without permission, who cares? And in that particular regard, Book knew the second that he said it, he had made a mistake.
Well, you know, as a wrestling fan, even now, 20 years later, hearing that promo, knowing that it was a promo, and promos are not real, Booker T was being a wrestling character, it just popped the crap out of me. Just because it's like, it was unheard of for a guy of Booker T's stature, meaning his position in a wrestling company, to cut a promo like that. Now, I asked him in 2010, and he says this every time he's out. That is the most asked question he gets. Booker, I gotta ask you, man. I know everybody asks you this. You know, dude, that you're infamous. You know, Hulk Hogan, I'm coming for you promo. I didn't dare say the word. You know, but I didn't dare say the word because I'm not in his circle. Okay. And he said, you know what? He was just in the heat of the moment, and he cut the promo, and you could see when he cut the promo that he said, man, I done effed up.
Yeah.
But in certain circles, okay, people of the black culture use that in their circle to describe their friends, their homeboys, that white people can't get away with. Okay? Now, is it right? No. Can you be offended when that word's used? I don't know, maybe. But how come it's okay for you to say it? And, you know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And I'm not talking about the word with the hard ER. I'm talking about the word that Booker T said. Booker T said, I'm coming for you, Nigga. Okay. And that could be construed as, you know, I'm coming for you, you know, like, homeboy, I'm coming to get you, man. And like, you know, it's a weird dichotomy.
Well, it also,
you know, and you want to know what we're gonna have Tyrus on here very soon, and you know, maybe just, you know, catch his comments, you know, see what his thoughts are on those words, you know, being an African American professional wrestler, racism in pro wrestling. I don't know. It's you know, it's a tough subject. I talked to a buddy of mine last night, and he pretty much told me what he thought, and he didn't think Hulk Hogan's a racist. You know, he thought Hulk Hogan was getting a raw deal. He said what he said, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not saying that Hulk Hogan was right now. So don't tweet me and say, oh, you're taking his side and you're racist too. Listen, I'm not racist. I effing hate everybody. Fast Eddie Lane, the Magic City Motor Mouth, has known me for 5 or 6 years. He could tell you that son of a gun hates everybody. You want to know why? You can't call me a racist. I hate everybody equally.
I was wondering, are you going to pull that one out of the hat? Nice job.
I hate everybody equally. Okay,
see,
my shoot job, pro wrestling, I hate everybody equally. But at the end of the day, Hulk Hogan said some disgusting, ridiculous comments that he got caught for, and he probably lost millions. I mean, he lost probably almost. I wouldn't be surprised if every sponsor that he had dropped him. Like Eddie. I mean, like realistically, if we had, $1 million sponsor, and folks, we're live, WrestleRage Radio, the Wrestling Manifesto, live beyond ringside.com, the PG edition. You see, Stan, you're not here. I got the cease and desist order to not say cuss words, and you're missing it. Man, oh man.
Well, you've got to remember the basic rule of thumb is most of the proceedings here on the Beyond Ringside family of shows are what I've always called #HellDamnAss.
Yeah, well, you know what I think about family, right? I hate my own family, so you think I'm going to care about what this family says?
But by the same token, and we're not going to do this on air. We can do part of it on air, but we're not going to do the whole thing. To everybody who is currently listening live at work, thank you for tuning us in through BeyondRingside.com, through the Beyond Ringside Radio app, through TuneIn Radio, through Shoutcast, on Winamp, on Ustream, all of the above. So there are people right now who love listening to the shows, WrestleRage Radio, BR Live, at work. So, and we appreciate the fact that you're listening at work. We appreciate the fact you're listening where other family members can hear. And, we do everything we can to put out a product that everybody can enjoy.
You want to know the real reason why I don't have a job in WWE?
Why is that?
Is because I'm not PG friendly. I've had the conversations. We've heard your radio show. You're not PG friendly. And therefore, I got passed over for a prominent role in the WWE because I'm not PG friendly.
There you go. I'm appreciative of the fact that Carmella, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass worked WWE's live event last night in Odessa, Texas. Took on The Ascension. There'd been rumors for Enzo and Cass to be called up for quite a while now, and I'm very happy to see that they're actually getting some time on the main roster. The only thing about it, I've got to sit back and say this. How much do you genuinely feel that WWE dropped the ball when it came to The Ascension, Corey?
I just think like everything else, they gave them 4 weeks to try to get over, 4 or 5 weeks to get over, and they couldn't get themselves over, and they moved on. There you go. I mean,
there you go.
I mean, that's what it is. You got to get out there and get yourself over. There you go. Get yourself over, kid, and the rest will come easy.
And one of the other little news items that I managed to catch was NXT champion Finn Balor turned 34 years of age on Saturday. Fans sang happy birthday to Balor before last night's main event at the NXT live event in West Palm Beach, Florida. After his win over Tyler Breeze, the roster brought out a cake for Balor, but it ended up in the face of Tyler Breeze.
That is awesome. And I want to give a special shout out. I used the joke I stole from Mean Gene Okerlund, my longtime close personal friend. I do want to say this. Yuha Nation, I have known that man since he was training for 6 months down at WWA 4 off of Fulton Industrial by Club Wax. Go see Coco, mention my name for the VIP booth. You get a 2-for-1 lap dance. I'm kidding. I don't know if Coco still works there. The lap deal dance may still be good. But I digress. Yuha Nation recently got signed by the WWE, and he is doing big things down there. He's on the road with them. They were in Miami last night. They were in Fort Pierce, Florida, and I'm just so happy to see a homegrown guy. And Eddie, I don't know if you've had any dealings with him on your show or the rest of the shows, but Yuha Nation is legitimately, and when I say this, I'm not being sarcastic. He is legitimately one of the nicest men I've met in professional wrestling.
I've heard that from a lot of different sources, the fact that he is very grounded, very articulate, very easy to speak with. And, when I'd heard the word that he had been picked up, and first off, I heard about the tryout, I heard about how everything went, then I heard that he was being picked up to go to NXT, and it's like I'm sitting back going, one of the good guys won.
Right. And, I didn't hear about it until after he had got signed. And, after it was announced on, on the website, I looked and I was like, holy crap, I know that guy. And I sent him a private message on Twitter. Hey, congratulations. It's good to see one of the nicest guys I've encountered here in Georgia get a shot. In wrestling business, if you're older than somebody, they call you kid. The kid's doing it. He's done a couple tours of Japan. He's doing his thing in NXT. He's going to be the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at NXT, meaning the guy can never be a bad guy. He is that much of a nice guy that you wouldn't believe him if he turned heel.
Okay.
Just in my opinion, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. I don't know anything insidery. I'm just saying he is that sweet of a guy that. Come on, you're Nation. You're the humble kid from Fulton Industrial, where we would go out to the parking lot, and after the show, we would talk for an hour, and hey, I got these DVDs in the back. I think he's still got my Edge DVD. I don't know. And just go in the back and outside and talk and just chew the fat and talk about wrestling, and just he's a fan. It's nice when guys are in the business and they're fans of wrestling, and we would talk just about pro wrestling, my favorite moments and his favorite moments, and I'm a little bit older than him, and just to hear my moments versus his attitude era moments, and my oh man, Hogan slammed Andre. Ultimate Warrior beat Hogan for the belt. Macho Man became the king.
Wait, I hate to say it, but actually that's all been changed because that person you just mentioned did not slam Andre. Andre tripped. Andre tripped.
That's true. I beg your pardon. Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, Andre slipped on a banana in WrestleMania 3. And what do you call it?
The Ultimate Warrior overcame demonic possession to get his head on right and be awarded the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
So, we'll leave it at that.
So, but he's a good guy. Like you said, one of the good guys won. And another thing, and I'll say this, and whoever's listening, this is straight up. This is Corey the Champion. This ain't SmartRage. Yuha Nation is one of those guys. When he went to Japan, he came back the same guy. When he went to, I think he wrestled in when he went to Dragon Gate, not just in Japan, he came back the same guy. Well, so there you go.
You make a reference to it, and like I said, I'm gonna come back to what I said a second ago. When I'd heard about the tryout, when I heard how well the tryout went, and when I heard that he was being picked up, I said it before, I'll say it again. One of the good guys got a victory, and that's a good thing for pro wrestling. Because, when people try to read too much about the individual based on the character they have on television, that is an unfair assessment of a situation. When you have an opportunity to meet someone in a neutral environment, much less before or after a show, then and only then can you form an adequate assessment and an opinion based on being educated about an individual. So when you...
Well, I will say this, and then I know we got to go to the break. Big Tyrus will be on here very soon. I've had dinner. I've broke bread with the guy. I've hung out with the guy, and he was the same guy in the ring, same guy out the ring. Yeehaw! We love you. We're pulling for you. Hope you get the call eventually, folks. SmarkRage Live, WrestleRage Radio, BeyondRingside.com. We will be back with Impact Wrestling superstar, my longtime close personal friend. I may even let him give me a haircut on the air like his, a cool little mohawk. Folks, we'll be back with Tyrus. Sit back, feel the rage. Feel the rage, yeah.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark Mabo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
Let me drive.
How do you know when it's time to give up the keys? When your dog grabs your keys from your lap and your lap is on the floor. Yep, it's Jeff Foxworthy Parade saying, when you party, be sure to designate before you celebrate.
If you want to make it home alive, let me drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Please don't drink and drive. It's not fun.
Before the top of the hour on this Sunday night, the 26th day of July. Welcome back into WrestleRage Radio with SmarkRage and Stan. Show producer Fast Eddie Lane over here behind the control panel this evening. Like to welcome back in the one, the only SmarkRage, Courtney Champkin. What's up, buddy?
Man, I'm just hanging out. Everything is on a roll tonight.
You remember last time you were just hanging out, you actually did get thrown in jail for indecent exposure in front of, Kindercare?
I thought we were not supposed to. That was SmarkRage out there. SmarkRage is a character, so that doesn't count. Okay.
Well, then
it was character development.
So there you go, folks. My longtime close personal friend from Impact Wrestling, Tyrus. What's going on, buddy? It's been a year since you have been on WrestleRage Radio. What in the hell is going on with you?
Man, a lot of traveling, a lot of flights. The train's still going, still wrestling, still having fun. Started doing some political analyst on Fox News. That was fun. Tyrus is becoming very well rounded. Just came back from a successful tour in South Africa, where I wrestled the South African legend, the Tornado. So that was fun. And then, Impact, we're steady. We're going along, and we're, as a matter of fact, in the middle of, today's my day off. But even on my day off, I ended up at the Fanboy Expo, signing some autographs and checking out new toys and stuff. And then I got some more filming the rest of this week at TNA in Orlando. So staying busy.
What kind of you were at Fanboy Expo? What kind of toys did Tyrus like? What do you like?
I'm into all the. I'm into the Incredible Hulk and Godzilla. Like, the big guys like to break stuff. That's stuff I like. So that's what I'm always shopping for or whatever. And always looking for a good comic book. But and I like to people watch. And there's no better place on the planet to people watch than the people that walk around at the Comic Cons and the fanboys and the expos, and they get all dressed up, and it's something to see. And this from somebody who wears spandex for a living, it is something to see.
Go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, Tyrus, if I could, I have a question I'd like to ask, and it's a character-driven question. When the character of Brodus Clay went from being a great fan favorite to a heel, a lot of people, myself included, were of the ilk that believed that it was a forced heel turn or a forced heel character. Whereas when Tyrus arrived in TNA, Tyrus came across like a badass. When you have situations like that come into play, when everything comes in and you're making that advent, and you know that your character is going to come across in a certain way, when you know your public representation of that character is going to come across a certain way, how does that lend to your comfort zone?
Well, I think the biggest thing was that I'm doing Tyrus my way. My biggest problem with Brodus Clay's heel turn was that, well, for one, it was misdirected in the sense that people didn't really know who I was mad at, what my issue was. I had an issue with my partner. I had an issue with Xavier. I had an issue with R-Truth. And the three of them were working together, constantly so in a way, I kept getting sympathy because I'd be beating up Tenzai, and then out comes Xavier with my music, which would distract me, So I think it kind of got lost, when I transitioned. It really wasn't, and I kept having to cut these promos explaining myself. And from who I am as a person, when I'm fed up, angry, or mad, I have nothing to say to you. And the whole point of Tyrus is everyone knows that I can talk. They expect me to talk, but I have nothing to say to the people. And Brodus Clay's character, the Funkasaurus, always had something to say. It was always positive and cheery, or try to make a joke out of any situation. And I felt I could say a lot without saying anything at all. And I think more bad guys, when everyone wants explanation, they want whatever. When you don't say nothing, that raises more questions than you say stuff. So, and that was what was important to me. So, and I always thought that, and in the character verse, I was frustrated just all the piss offs I get hit with. So, and when I get to that point, I don't really have much to say. And a lot of people that would characterize into my time WWE. I didn't really say much to anybody before because I just didn't have anything to say. I've asked the same questions, got 7 different answers. After a while, I just stopped asking. Just do what I have to do. And that was my mindset going into Tyrus. As soon as I didn't want to come out and be clever and cool and insult people and do all that kind of stuff, because then it's just the Funkasaurus again. So I just want to, it's a risk, in the beginning, people would just be like Brodus Clay, but now there's less Brodus Clay and more Tyrus. So I'm excited about that because it's hard to reinvent yourself in this day and age. And I think I'm being able to do that.
Corey?
So, your buddy, Ethan Carter, the guy you're protecting is the TNA world heavyweight champion. What are you willing to do to make sure that he doesn't lose that title?
Whatever this, as long as it still requires a ref to count 3, I'll just make sure the ref don't count 3. So, or take it, or acknowledge the tap and senior referee or whatever. I think he's had about enough of me, but you can't catch me, so I'm gonna keep doing what I do. So I believe the term is by any means necessary. And I would argue I'm a little more than a bodyguard because bodyguards historically don't really do a whole lot. I very easily could be in that title picture if I wanted to, but the deal I made with him, and I'm fast. I'm more of an enforcer type, you know.
Thank you.
And you know, Double A made sure Ric Flair wouldn't have had 15 if it wasn't for Double A, guarantee it. So, you know.
But Rick also lost the belt 15 times, though.
Because Double A had other things to do.
So when are we going to see you get some TNA Championship gold around your waist?
We're marinating, and I'll probably rock it on my shoulder, to be honest with you. But
as a big guy, I understand.
There's things in the mix, you know. We're EC and I, we have plans. You know, the biggest thing was to get. Oh, sorry guys, Dave Ortiz, thank you. Gone. Sorry, Red Sox Detroit, ESPN, checking it out. We ain't had much to cheer about in Red Sox Nation this year, so I got to cheer for that. But you know, we got some things. EC and I got some things planned, and you know, we're excited about the future. You know, with TNA and stuff like that, and we're just having fun. And it's good to, you know, we seem to be the best 1-2 punch in wrestling right now, and I'll take that.
Well, I mean, do you want to maybe divulge any of these plans and give us
No. There's too much. People talk way too much in the world.
No, but listen, nobody listens to this show.
Shut up, Corey.
Nobody listens to it. It's just you and me. It's Corey.
It's like every bad movie you've seen where the villain goes, "Oh, here's my plan. I'm gonna pass."
Or it's kind of like Dr. Doofenshmirtz on Phineas and Ferb, right?
Yeah, you know, just sit down and I'll explain what we're going to do.
This is my Nator of the Week.
You could tell me. Nobody pays attention on Twitter.
Oh, I can see it. Sure. Actually, if I could, you mentioned 1-2 punch. And on one of the shows that I host, Beyond Ringside Back to Basics, I've made the statement that this has been, for the nationally televised scene, a beautiful renaissance in the making for the world of professional wrestling. Note, pro wrestling, not sports entertainment. Because you have Impact, which has been getting back to basics, concentrating minimally on storylines and more so on in-ring action with talented professional wrestlers. You have companies such as Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, Paragon Pro Wrestling, companies that are on a national forum that feature pro wrestling. With everything falling into place, can you see where I would be leading that charge to say that it is a great time to be a fan of professional wrestling, especially, like I said, with Impact sticking with more in-ring accentuation for the talent?
I would say, as a wrestling fan myself, yeah, I think it's great that people have a choice again. And, you know, wrestling is its own thing. You know, sports entertainment has its place, of course, but wrestling has its place too. And I think the purest wrestling fan is tired of a 3-minute match and a 25-minute promo. And then there's people who like that. Also, another thing that wrestling does is they don't have the long story, but they have the long story that you get behind, that you build. The EC3 rise to the championship was a long process.
Yes.
It wasn't 6 episodes in. It took turns. It didn't know what was happening. When I came in the mix, it became serious. And it finally happened against arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Kurt Angle. So, over the likes of, you know, Bobby Lashley and, you know, Matt Hardy, and, you know, the list goes on, and Kid Anderson. I mean, there's so many formidable guys that were in there that are part of this thing, but the story was told. And we don't have enough of that anymore. So often you'll see a story will get started, and all of a sudden just some guy with a pen who's never took a bump in his life decides, oh, we don't like that story anymore. You know, the fact that we didn't get Stardust and Goldust retirement match in WrestleMania, especially under the circumstances of losing the greatest teacher in wrestling, in my opinion, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, is just a disservice to the fans because somebody else decided. It wasn't. How is 2 brothers fighting for one career not a great story?
Absolutely. You know, I'm just kind of sitting there and listening, and my wheels are spinning. I'm just kind of thinking,
and that's like I said, the WWE is a great place. They're the top for a reason. They're number one. But I'm just saying, from the wrestling fan standpoint, that was a misservice, in my opinion. And we can't get that one back.
Absolutely. I think it could still be done, but as a wrestling fan, like you said, speaking about the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Ethan Carter, I've been a wrestling fan, over 30 years, so I'm kind of used to okay, well, sweet, we're done, and the storyline's over in 3 months. Then here you get this storyline that I wouldn't say drug out, that evolved. I think that would be the correct terminology. Evolved over this long period of time, where these guys coming in, then you were brought into the mix, and he beat Kurt Angle, who, like you said, arguably I would put Kurt Angle top 5 in my people of pro wrestling. Who is recovering from neck surgery. I hope he gets better. Personally, I want to see him come and take this title from Ethan Carter. Sorry, Titus, but Tyrus. So I apologize.
Said my name wrong and just homie. Wow.
I'm sorry.
Want to talk about my mother while you're at it? Damn.
You know what? Someone call her. She is on the other line.
Which is amazing because I'm a foster kid. That's hilarious. So I don't know her number. So maybe someone can let me know.
Oh, man.
More creative writing.
But you want to know what? Sorry, the pencil, I lost the eraser in the creative. Sorry. But, pro wrestling sports entertainment, at the end of the day, it's about the fans. How, as a performer, whether it was, you were up north or down south or all in between, as a performer, they say, well, you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do this, and, we've got a plan for, the next however long. And then do you ever think to yourself, like what the hell? Just like, what in the...
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get a creative plan or an idea that, that the writers or the office is excited about, and you're thinking, this is not going to work, or this is ridiculous. Well, I got to put a spin on it. It's going to happen, and I'm not the one that's going to, and they're not the ones that's going to be out there having to do it. So you have to make things your own, even if they seem completely ridiculous, and you don't know, at the moment when you hear it, you're thinking to yourself, oh, this is terrible. But the thing about what makes most wrestlers different than, let's say, actors who just read off the paper and maybe they add an emotional twist to it, we have to take something and make it completely ourselves. And we have to change, and we have to make something work, and not just for, an hour. It has to work for months, and in some cases, a whole career. Perfect example, Santino was a guy that always comes to my mind. He was a great judo champion, a legitimate shooter. And he was, no one would ever know it based off the character he played, and he didn't play it for a month. He made a whole career out of Santino Marella. And you think Cobra, you don't think judo throw, and he took something that would be a difficult character for a guy like that to play, and he made it his own. He made it himself, and it's one of the most memorable characters in wrestling.
If I could, you brought up a name a few minutes ago, and I want to ask you to expound on one facet of that name when you brought up Dusty. Now, I'm 49. I watched him for many, many moons. Had the opportunity to interview him, sit down face-to-face back in 2000. And I look at the timeline, and we use the word millennials now, those that were born around the turn of the millennium. Will they ever really be able to understand, kids 18 and under right now, will they ever really be able to understand the importance of what someone like Dusty Rhodes meant to the world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment?
With the internet, with the networks, with companies rerunning DVDs and stuff like that, I would say they'll get a pretty good feel of them, but it'll be limited. I don't think they'll. If you have never seen the American Dream live, you'll never get it. You can see it on film, you can get a piece of it, but it was something about him live. And I only saw him live once in my life, and it was in Kissimmee, Florida. And I was FCW, and I just got called up, and I was down. Wasn't booked on the show. He was in a 6-man tag with his sons, and I snuck out, and I went and sat in the crowd with a hoodie and tried to hide as best as I could, because all I wanted to do was watch the Dream. And you just get it. There's something about him, the way his charisma, just the way he did it, made you a part. Like I was 10 years old, and I sat there and watched it. And after a while, I didn't realize that the hoodie came down, because I was enjoying him. And every time he threw that looping jab, the whole place goes ooh, ooh, and it's just a part in there with him. He commanded the audience in a way that that every wrestler wants, dreams of it. So if there's ever a history book in college or education or some sort that writes about,
there's one other little thing I want to ask, and this is something that as I've watched you in ring and conversations in which your name has been brought up in one form or another, you're always referred to as, and this is a phrase that I've used, one of the best big men out there today. And unfortunately, we lost him. Corey?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, hopefully Tyrus will call back. I assume he's having telephone issues. It's been informative. I love talking to the big guy because he's another nice guy. He's an easy interview. He's no BS. He tells it like it is. Eddie, do you want to maybe try to get him back on the line, or go to the break and try to get him back on the line?
Well, let's see if he calls in. Tell you what, you've got a tag team partner that would like to come on board. Bring him in.
Oh, his contract? He's got a contract this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, like to welcome in, I guess you would say, the more talented half of WrestleRage Radio with Smart Rage and Stan, the one, the only Stan Grubb in the house.
You know what? The show is officially PG again.
Well, the powers that be. No, that's not it. Creative control. No, that's not it.
Bad button to push with me.
Hey, gotta do what we gotta do for ratings. We can't take off the kids. I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry that I'm late, gentlemen. I had some things to do with my family and had to take care of that. I'm sorry that I missed out on a conversation with Tyrus.
Here he is. All right, cool. Welcome back.
Well, I guess he couldn't handle the rage. Welcome back.
So we got disconnected. I don't know where we lost that, but I basically said that the American Dream is immortal, even though the term immortal is overused a little bit. And we got cut off.
Actually, I didn't catch that part the first time around. Thank you for adding that one back in. The second half of the question, real quick, that I wanted to lay out there to you is, and I'm one of the ones who does say this, and I know a number of people do, as it pertains to you in ring, and this is something I've said for a while, you have been called by a number of people one of the best big men in the world of professional wrestling today. How do you respond when you hear that qualifier put on there? Instead of people just saying he's one of the best out there today, they feel like because of your stature, they have to include the term big man.
Yeah, and that will always, I'm sure it's a compliment and it's meant well, but unfortunately one of the gentlemen I was trained by was AA Arn Anderson, and he referred to being a good big guy is like being told you're a fast one-legged runner. So don't work like a big guy.
Well, dang, now I feel bad every time I ever said that about you.
No, I mean, it's the normal, that's just why he's AA. That's why Arn Anderson is Arn Anderson. So in my mind, I never wanted to work like a big guy. He's like, work like I work. Don't take that route. Don't be that lumbering guy in the ring who takes one bump a night.
I think you definitely took his advice.
Yeah, because I never want to come back and have him tell me, yeah, you look big tonight, because I'd be like, damn it. And I didn't want to hear it. You know, he was a great coach. And he kept it real. I don't think I ever had one match he was good with, but that's fine. Because now I got, over in TNA, I got I've got Helmsley over here in TNA now. He's pretty much the same way. He criticizes everything. The Hurricane. He's an agent over there. He takes apart everything I do, and I love it because that's why I feel it makes you better. And having coaches like that. But yeah, I take when they say it, I'm assuming they're referring to the class of the guys that are considered big guys. The Vaders, the Bundys, the one-man gangs, the Earthquakes,
the Bam
Bam Bigelow,
Bam Bam Bigelow's, Big John Studs. Just to be even in that conversation is a compliment. But unfortunately, when I hear it, the first thing I do is just like a little twitch because I'm reminded of Double A saying, it's like being a real fast one, like a runner. Don't really mean much, but I know what they mean when they say it, and it's a compliment. And I appreciate it, and I continue to try to improve. And I'll be adding to that legacy because in August I'll make my first arrival to Japan. So,
wow,
that's tremendous. Are you gonna hook up with the Bullet Club?
Hell no. I don't do the clubs.
Wow. Okay.
I don't do the clubs. Me going to Japan, I'm thinking in my mindset like Stan, Dr. Death, Bam Gordy. Like you go with Scott Norton, Taku, you make a name for yourself. I can do clicky things right here. I'm part of a click right now, the EC thing, but no, I'm going out there on my own 2 feet. And that's the legacy that, what I'm thinking about in Japan, Bruiser Brody's, and things like that. And so that's my mindset going out there.
And of course,
I want a Rivera jacket.
I was going to say that. Darn it.
Okay, then I want the Zubas.
Can you bring me back a Rivera jacket?
Yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm sure we're on the mailing list. Thanks, buddy.
If you don't get it, there's something wrong with Postal Service.
Tyrus, we're boys. We go back all the way to South.
Yeah, we go all the way back to 2015.
We go all the way back to when you talked about Kurt Angle, EC3. That's when we stopped.
But I mean, no. But I was saying, let me stop you there. That was Smart Rage.
And then you called me Titus. Titus, of all people, Titus.
He called you Titus?
No, I said Titus.
Why'd you do that?
Listen, Stan, you were making fun about Funk on a Roll last week, okay?
Oh, Lord.
No, I did not. Hey, you know what, Tyrus? I do have a question for you. And you've been in pretty much every big promotion there's out there. So I got to ask you, when you see a company like TNA that's going through a state of flux the way that they do, how do you guys handle that backstage?
Biggest thing, and this is an open say, all we can do is go out there and wrestle.
Right.
And go out there and perform. That's pretty much all we can control. At the end of the day, you worry about your profession. You worry about, if you're going to have a job. I mean, we have the same fears and the same responsibilities as everybody else that does things for gain for employment and stuff like that. But I've always been under the mindset I only can control what I can control. If I go out and I'm wrestling a match and I come back and I hear that's it, it's a wrap, I can't do anything about that. All I can do is go forward.
Yep.
So I really, as far as the things go with the rumors and negative talk and stuff like that, I really try not to focus on it. If it's something I have a real problem with, then I'll go. TNA has a very good open door policy, so I'll go knock in and make talk to Big and ask a question. Like, hey, what's going on with this? And every time you ask, you usually get an answer. It might not be the one you want, but you will get an answer.
I think that's definitely.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important to have the open line of communication. I think that goes a long way for just a happy crew. I'm going to ask you the obvious question, and I'm sure it's probably not one that you've been asked ever at all. What are your thoughts on the Hulk Hogan incident?
actually I was coming to work to film, and there was a fan as I was pulling up kept looking at me going, "Hey, brother," and was doing the Hogan thing, and I was like, "What the hell? He's back here?" Like that's all I thought was, "Wait, why is he here?" And then did you hear? Did you hear? And I was like, I don't know. I had no idea what it was about, and by the time I got into work and stuff, and then I started hearing everything, and then I took the time to look at it and read the first statement. It was a radio show, and basically he was using the word, but he wasn't saying the word, and I'm sure that if that story was accurate, and I didn't have, as a brother, I didn't have a problem with what that story with the DJ and stuff was about. And I was like, I don't know what the big deal is. So what? It's probably true. He was over.
Well, I mean,
everybody wanted him to be whatever they were because he was Hulk Hogan.
Right, but I mean, the story with him and the DJ was. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and then someone says, "No, read the rest of it." And this was my issue. Is it cool that he said it? No, it's not cool. Is it newsworthy? It's not newsworthy. Should he have lost his job over it? No. My issue was he was in his privacy of his own life, being recorded by somebody. The crime, in my opinion, is the person recording him. It's the privacy of his own home. Everybody, and I don't care who you are, and who can also, and that's the problem in this country. Everyone has a high horse on stuff, because I have dealt with racism my entire life, and a lot of times I got it from both sides, and I dealt with it all the time. Being mixed was always not cool, and whites reminded you were always black, and blacks reminded you that you weren't black enough. So we went through it, and then this thing to change, and then you're more accepting, and because we live in a country that when President Obama was elected, they said first black president. Nobody said first white black president. So I think everyone needs to look in the mirror when they're talking about, do I think Hogan's racist? No, I don't. I think he said the word. I think he was a father complaining about his daughter, and to be honest with you, I'm sure if the guy was Italian, he would have said something else.
Right. So
should he have said it? And this is all I'm saying on this. If Hogan walked up to me backstage and said, "Look here," and I heard him say it, I probably would have punched his old ass out. And most brothers would do that. But see, he has common sense. And even if his first thought was, "Man, that's a big yellow Negro," his second thought would say, "His name is Brodus." His third thought would say, "And I'm going to say hi."
Right.
And that's it. And if he doesn't like it, he's going to move on, because he never publicly went out and said, "I hate black people." We have people that do that in this country, and they don't get fired from their jobs. So my issue is, I hope it goes away. And here's the best part. I'm tripping. Hulk Hogan didn't say Jack. He's a character. 60, I don't know, is he 60 years old, 65, whatever his old ass is. An old 61. Man talking trash 60. About somebody dating his daughter. Now, when it's during the movies, we laugh.
I mean, I see your point there.
The media in this country really needs to just get over it. It's a dead word. It doesn't have the same sting it used to have. And when people say it, they say it in the pride. It's gotten to the point now where it's said, if a white guy wants to say, "I don't like this black guy," he says it in the privacy of his own home. He doesn't walk out his porch and burn a cross. Do we still have idiots out like that in this country? Yes, we do. But they're small. And when you perpetuate it and you try to make it a whole hour TV show about where it come from, and all of a sudden he's all these things, he's not. He was an old man talking about his daughter, saying the wrong thing. He had a lot of wrong things going on that night. And the least of his problems was dropping the N-bomb.
No,
So,
I think a 60-year-old man.
Does it change my perception of Hulk Hogan the wrestler? No. I never liked him anyway. I like the Heenan family. Mr. Wonderful, and I want to get a
yes.
I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real. Does that make me? I didn't like him. He was tan and blonde. I didn't relate. So, and I liked the bad guys. That was the people I liked. I liked Hercules Hernandez. I liked I liked Bobby Heenan. I enjoyed those guys. So, does it change anything? Do I, if I saw, I live 15 minutes from his restaurant. If I feel like I want to go get some food, I would still go to his restaurant and get something to eat. I have, like I said, should he have said it? Hell no. He said it in his house.
Tyrus, if
either one of you guys ask me if I'm going to eat chicken when I'm going to get there, I'm going to drive down there and whoop you both myself.
Dang. Okay. All right. Let's see. Why would we do that? Why is it got to come back to us like that?
I'm just saying, man. I just wish this country would just get over this stuff. So stupid. It's not even worth it. He doesn't exist now. He never happened.
It is pretty sad that they would erase him like that. It came from WWE corporate. They're like trying to clean it up.
Yeah, but that's what's wrong with this country. They think that's the answer. What they should have said is a big gun thing. They should have said, "This dude, what an idiot," and moved on. It's not worth all this dialogue over it.
Well, I mean, they claim they lost $50 million.
He didn't lynch somebody. He didn't.
True.
They didn't uncover that he was a serial,
lyncher,
racist that would travel from town to town, burning churches and calling guys names and stuff like that. He wasn't anything like that. He was saying some dumb stuff, and he even told on himself, "I guess we're all a little racist." Like I said, he had enough problems going on there. The real issue is, and I'm saying it again, let's switch roles. Let's say a Hulkster was Wendy Richter or a woman or something, a woman wrestler, whatever. Some guy was recording her in the bedroom and stuff like that. The conversation would be completely different.
Hang on,
so I think there's a lot of double standards.
Out of all the women in wrestling, you pick Wendy Richter. Could you have not?
She's my favorite. She's my favorite wrestler.
She's
my favorite woman wrestler of all time, and I actually use her slam. So somebody tell me something different.
Peggy Lee Leather.
Wendy Richter's my favorite.
There you go. Hey,
time.
Do me a favor. Let me slide this one in real quick because, Tyrus, I've got to say this. You joined a cult fashion as far as people go alongside of the late, great Otis Sarungus, former lead singer of War, when you started doing commentary on Fox with Greg Gutfeld.
Yes.
Is there any one person in God's creation who is less sane and less define the word normal than Greg Gutfeld?
Your partner.
Not my partner.
That's true.
Is he talking about Stan?
Well, no, he's talking about you.
He's talking about you.
Only the numbskull that would call him Titus.
Hey, and I'll say this about Greg because you know what? I can't say nothing bad to a guy who said, "Hey, I think you'd be great in this venue. Come on my show and I'll give you a shot."
Yeah.
And Twitter's still talking about it, and I'm going to be back on the show. I'll be a regular on it. So he's crazy and weird, but you know what? You'd be surprised how many supposedly weird characters and stuff like that are actually intelligent people who have good stuff to say. So I applaud him for being different because have you watched most of Fox News?
No, I tried.
They have people that come on there, and while they're talking, it's just instant go to sleep. And they might have some great messages, but damn. Actually, you don't even get to it because they're just self-absorbed, and they just sound ridiculous, and it's not very entertaining. So.
Actually, Tyrus, if I could, my three favorite characters on there are A, Greg Gutfeld, B, Andy Levy, C, not necessarily in this order, Judge Janine Pirro. She is just too cool.
Wait a minute, is that the one that's wants to fist fight Obama at 2:00 in the morning? She was the one that Jinx beat. The DA in New York, right?
That I'm not sure about.
Kind of hot.
Very hot. Yeah.
But really angry, Obama was supposed to date her and didn't show up.
I don't know about the dater part. Angry. She'd probably rather take up.
She got that jilted lover kind of thing where she's always yelling at the thing. I'm like, she don't even have guests. She just yells at Obama for an hour.
There you go.
Blame her for everything.
She'll do that.
But Tyrus, doesn't Fox News yell
There's no lights on the moon. What you got to say about that, Obama?
Hey, dude, I just like her because she's hot.
Don't you think Fox News already yells
I've
at
had women
Obama
look
anyway?
at me like that. I know an angry woman when I see one, and that's an angry woman.
Yes,
Somebody
she
got
is.
something explaining to do because she is mad.
I've
I
often
just want to go on the show and give her a hug.
Same here.
It'll be all right,
I'd like to sit down with a bottle of Crown Royal Apple and have a drink with her.
Yeah. No, I don't think you get through that. She just changed Obama to you. I don't think he strikes me as a very angry person. Just mad. It just cracks me up. Everything.
That's why it surprised me when I saw that you were on Fox, man. I mean, you're not really an angry guy. You're pretty laid back, and you're honest, and you put it out there. But most of the people on Fox News are angry. How do you handle that?
Why? Because they lost.
Yeah.
I wish they would just be like, look, hashtag we hate Obama, we hate everything about him. Let's just get it out there. They try to cover it up with facts and stuff. It's just we don't like him, America.
Right.
We just don't like him. And it's, to me, I would rather go on a show that I have a difference of opinion of than go on a show that I get along with everybody. Because I think dialogue is important. And, I didn't realize, I had a comment was made to me on Twitter the other day. Now I know what it was about, but I didn't know what it was about at the time. My brother was talking about how the one-man gang was, really a blackface character, and that I said I love the shuck and jive and stuff like that. And I got hot. I got upset about it, and I was like, first of all, you know what you're talking about. I said, and he had his opinion, and I told him where everything was coming from, and the fact that you're trying to say because the one-man gang shook and danced and talk was soul that he was trying to be black. He wasn't. Slick was black.
Well, I never thought
when Elvis did it. It was cool. And when,
I never thought that Akeem was a racial thing.
It was a funny. He never tried to be. He was just being a character.
It was funny.
And it was supposed to be funny and silly. And this was this big guy. He was the king of the African dream, and it was whatever. And he had the Slick alongside of him. And you can make anything racist if you want to, if you try hard enough. But when you try to make wrestling characters real, that's like saying, well, we all know Arnold Schwarzenegger has issues because he's always trying to go back in time and kill young girls. It's a character.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
It's not real,
Hey, speaking of not real, speaking of characters, when are you going to stump me again with the comic book thing?
Oh, man.
For the folks at home, last time we spoke with Tyrus was just before he debuted, and he and I were going back and forth on comic books. So he DMs me one day out of the blue with this comic book quote, and I like to think of myself as a pretty smart comic book guy. I really do. But Tyrus decides to just stump me for weeks on end, and he actually had to fill me in as to the quote, and it was from a Superman comic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's craziness. So I'm waiting for your next comic book drop, man.
You know what? I just finished one. I'm gonna send it to you, man. It's different.
Okay.
I'll drop it to you tomorrow, actually.
Right on. Sounds good to me.
And you're sending me the Ribera jacket, right, Mr. Tyrus?
Yeah.
Yeah, medium, right?
Yeah.
Double extra medium.
Will you stop sending me? Will you wrestlers stop sending me medium shit? Corey, that bastard. First it was the guy over in WWE.
The guy over in WWE. You guys sound close.
Yeah, they're real close personal buddies. They go fishing.
Yeah.
Dolph sent me
his
3
name
medium
slipped
t-shirts.
me. I was at his wedding.
He was his best man.
First you got
Dolph
Dolph
one more thing, man. I'd like to, before you go there, speaking of friends or people that are horrible, I would just like to go on air and say that Al Snow is the worst human being on the planet. I just would like to put that out there.
Wow, Al Snow.
If you guys could retweet that. If you could put that on the headline on Twitter, that Tyrus lets the world know that Agent Al Snow is the worst human being on the planet.
Special Agent Snow.
What tab did he stick you with?
I was out there wrestling, earning, doing what I do, and I broke out of the repertoire. I hit a flying high cross body. I haven't done it in a while since I was back in the day, and it was amazing and devastating. And he decided to make the comment, said, "I bet that's like getting hit by a sofa."
Oh, that's horrible.
He thought he was, and there are no secrets backstage. So as soon as I came through the curtain, a source let me know, and I confronted him and let him know what type of person he is. If you could, a sofas don't bench 575 pounds, so or squat a world, but that's okay, Al. That's okay. But as long as you guys know, if you ever want to bring him on the show over his controversial comments referring to a human being as a piece of furniture, a household utility, that's pretty bad. So I just want to put that out there. Al Snow.
I put it on Twitter for you, buddy.
On the planet. Thank you.
Well, speaking about benching 500 pounds, man, you have lost. All serious now, you have lost a tremendous amount of weight from the time you started down in Deep South to now. What are you down to now?
I took right around 357, 362, depends on what time of day I'm weighing myself. Because as you would know, we can retain water. So
this is all baby fat, brother.
You just don't want to grow up. You know what? That's funny, Galvin. One time, one of my buddies tried to make me feel better on my heavier days. I said, man, I just can't lose this, man. He's like, oh, it's just baby fat. I'm like, well, how many babies was I? Damn. I got a whole orphanage here, bro.
I mean, Corey gets hungry, man. That's how it is. He just gets hungry.
No, it's not. He's sad.
Oh, he's sad.
Yeah,
I'm sad that I don't have that Ribera jacket. I'm sad you made me think about.
Okay, you know what?
Wendy Richter.
With all your big, why don't you just do a big live radio show in Japan? That shit's good. Your accent and your witty Japanese humor, and just don't get you a jacket. I'll tell you what, like I said, man, when I'm out there, I'll make a point, and I will see if they have large, not medium, like a large jacket. I'm on.
A large, yes.
Double extra medium. Super tight. Got to show up the guns.
You know what? I bring Titus on my radio show.
Oh, shit.
Titus
again. Listen. Tyrus. Say it. Tyrus, say it.
I've got a
not
stutter.
Titus.
Tyrus.
He was Bradis. Arn Anderson used to call me Bradis. Bradis Clay. Like, no, it's Brodus.
Really?
Bradis sounds better. No, it doesn't.
Would I be?
You can't say bro.
Would I be safe in just sticking with Monstrous BC?
Bradis.
So I can actually hear him saying it. I can hear the Arn Anderson twang saying Bradis.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Well, we could keep you as long as you want to stay here. We're a 2-hour show. I don't know if you're busy, if your significant other.
Well, I got actually while this is going on, I got my knucklehead thinking he's getting away with. His bedtime was 9:30. He thinks he's getting away with it all right now. Sit down and broke his toys out while I'm talking.
You know what?
I'm gonna shut him down.
Nice.
Hashtag blame SmartRage. Okay, you could blame me for your son not going to bed. I apologize, Tyrus.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
So, how do people find you? I know you got a website. What's your website? How do people find you on social media?
At TyrusSmash.com. Yeah, and, get all my stuff. The guys over at SwoleShop.com, man, they do all my social media stuff for me now. So, they make all my shirts and stuff. And so, SwoleShop.com. They got some cool stuff on there. You guys would like it. They make fun of old movies and stuff like that. My favorite one they got out there right now is Han Swolo, and it's got a Jack Harrison Ford T-shirt, and at the bottom says "Never tell me the odds." So they got some good stuff over there. And my new line, because I'm a glorious unicorn of Swole. So, and he always hit me up on Twitter, and it's at Brodus Clay, and Instagram is Tyrus Smash, whatever it is, at Instagram or .com or whatever the hell, or at Tyrus Smash.
Just look. Yeah, just search Tyrus Smash on. So
that's Tyrus with a Y, not Titus.
I didn't say Titus.
You did. Sorry.
So, but one other thing I do want to add, you said you're going to Japan. Are you going? You going with TNA? You going by your independently? What are you doing?
I'm going by myself. They reached out. They actually contacted TNA to contact me. So, I'll be going out there. But it was via them reaching out to TNA that they could reach out to me. So,
do you have any idea when you're going to go?
Yeah, August 26th, go out there, got a couple press conferences and stuff, and then wrestling match, I believe, the 29th, and then I'll be home sometime 30th.
Any idea who you're working with?
I do not know. I'll probably get closer to the date. I'll start seeing it. I've
love to see you work with Okada, man.
Yeah, like I said, fingers crossed. I'll see when we get out there. But it's it'll be my first time wrestling in Japan ever. WWE, I was always on the other side of the loop, so Everybody went to Japan. We went to Brazil, and it wasn't siesta season in Brazil when we went either. So kind of got left out on the cold. As a wrestler, there's a few places in the world that you want to wrestle: Mexico, Japan, and of course in the States, Madison Square Garden. So this will be big for me in terms of the goals I set as a wrestler, things I wanted to do in my career. So I'm really excited about it.
Well, and I'll be training really, and I'll be doing some crazy training, getting ready. So, maybe when you come back from Japan, Tyrus, you could join us again, and then maybe
that would be great.
Maybe we could have you on for the 2-hour show. Maybe we'll give Stan the night off. It could be WrestleRage with.
Oh, that'd
Tyrus,
be great. I'd love to do that, and we can interview people
with Tyrus and SmarkRage. You know what? Maybe you could get Al Snow to come on, and we'll just give him shit for 2 hours.
Yeah, let's interview him. Let's ask him the questions everybody wants to know, like where's the rest of the body on the dummy?
Well, Stan's over in the corner, so.
Oh, see, why's it got to be like that?
Wow.
Why you gotta put at me?
I threw it up, alley-oop.
There you go. But no, for serious, thank you for coming to do this. Last time we had you on
thank
there.
you. Anytime, guys. You guys are always great.
You were a fun interview. Love being serious, joking around. I know you do hundreds of thousands of these, and you get the same old question. And we've done thousands of these, and we just kind of like to just have a little fun and not be so serious. It's pro wrestling. It shouldn't be so damn serious.
No, it's not. I think that's a problem around the board, man. Everyone wants to be taken so seriously, and I think there's a time and place for that, but when a bunch of guys get together and start talking sports, that's supposed to be a fun time. So, and I definitely had fun tonight. So I appreciate that, fellas.
And for the record, you could dislike something without being a hater.
Exactly. I hate the fact that you like wearing jackets 3 sizes too small, but it's not my place, man. If that's what you need, then I'm not mad at you.
And
I embrace your bravery.
And I am going to embrace Ethan Carter losing the title to Kurt Angle when he gets healthy.
Okay, well, you know what? We'll see if that happens. It better happen when I'm in Japan. So, it ain't going to happen when I'm there.
It's possible, folks. Tyrus from Impact Wrestling, TyrusSmash.com, at Brodus Clay on the Twitter, Tyrus Smash on Instagram. Not Titus Smash, Tyrus Smash.
You're going to get
and
God.
You don't have to say the Twitter either. You sound like a
he does
old
that all
person.
the time.
Twitter, you can catch him on the TV.
Excuse me for being that Caucasian. I apologize.
Oh, it's a race thing. I said old person.
Oh!
So that's cool. Wow.
It took almost an hour and a half.
I'll wait for the TNT call.
Yep, here it comes.
Apparently, the word "the" is owned by white folks. Thank you. I did not know that.
Whoa. Hold up. Wait. Time out.
This is great. Yeah.
Hold on. Wait a minute now. The short, fat Italian guy wants to say something.
Wait a minute. We're joking about race. Oh, no, guys. Well, geez.
Excuse me.
Listen, for the record,
Smarky?
I don't hate any individual people.
What do you mean for the record? All this is recorded. It's already the record.
Well, that's
You're killing me.
Hey, Smarky, zip it for a second. Tyrus, I can lay it out there like this. The short, fat wop guy on this side of the control panel used the word "the" for a long time, so the Caucasians ain't got a market on it.
Wow.
All right, well, hang in, trademark it.
Now, see, that's what we do. That's what the Italians do good. We find the attorneys that'll trademark stuff real quick.
Yep.
That's why we trademark Prego.
It's in there.
Damn.
All right, fellas, on that note.
Tyrus, thanks for joining us, man.
It's been good. We'll have fun in Japan. Have fun in TNA. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Make sure you get me that Speedium jacket.
I'm all over it. You guys have a good night.
Appreciate it, brother.
Oh, God.
Stop it.
Should I have taken us to break there, Corey?
No, you're one of the one. Like I said, we're having fun. He's having fun. It's been a year since we've had him on. The last time we had him on was his departure with the company up north, and
we don't say their name now.
You know.
Did we Hulk Hogan the WWE?
No, we Chris Benoit him.
Oh no! Well, they Hulk Hogan'd him. Do you guys remember WrestleMania 3 where Andre the Giant tripped?
We did that one in the first segment.
Screw you guys. That was a good joke.
But I mean, Tyrus, Brodus
And I saw the
Clay,
meme too.
whatever, Titus, whatever you want to
Tyrus.
call him, is a hell of a guy.
Oh yeah, very good interview.
Great interview, having fun. Could be as serious when he needs to be. And that's what our show has always been about. The wrestling manifesto. The hard
That's
hit.
right.
We give the hard hitting interviews.
That's right. Asking what your favorite fish is. That's what we do.
Well, you know what, folks? This is Smart Rage for Stan Grubb, the Magic City Motormouth. We will be back.
We will?
After this break. Feel the rage. Feel the rage.
Paul, am I supposed to be here for this break?
Yes.
Crap. I mean, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Smart Rage from WrestleRage Radio, coming to you from the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Join myself and my co-host, Super Stan Grubb, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, as we present WrestleRage Radio, where we rant and rave on everything in the world of pro wrestling. Sometimes we'll have a guest. Sometimes it'll be just me and Stan BSing about the sport that we love, pro wrestling. Check us out. Tune in Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, only on the Beyond Ringside Network.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here live every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to Lucha Rage Underground. We are back live, WrestleRage Radio, only on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network on BeyondRingside.com. You're joined by Stan. I like to show up an hour and 30 minutes late. Grubb, the Magic City Motormouth, on the 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. Possibly 7s.
No, it's 1 through 4. I've actually spun 4 turntables simultaneously.
Fast Eddie Lane. And if you missed it, you missed a hell of an interview with Tyrus of Impact Professional Wrestling. And that was fun. The guy's fun. It was fun.
And we now have somebody else in the world who takes good shots at Al Snow other than Mick Foley.
Yeah, Al. You know what, Al? If you hear this, you have an open forum to retort to Mr. Tyrus or Titus or Monstrous BC.
Yeah, he's going to send you that knockoff Rivera jacket that's going to say Rivera Alfonso underneath it.
You know what? I wish those guys would just...
Oh, my gosh.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Stan?
Did you guys see the the post by Murder One on Facebook about...
I did.
I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but this is from yesterday morning. He says the N-word did what the Heenan family, the Macho Man, and the Dungeon of Doom couldn't do.
Right. Killed Hulkamania.
I gotta say that even though it was grossly disappointing to hear Hogan talk like that, and here's the thing, and Corey and I have gone back and forth about this topic for days now. It is disappointing. I do look at him differently as a person, but Corey does have a good point. I mean, what he did as Hulk Hogan in the ring has absolutely nothing to do with his personal beliefs. So to erase him from history is pretty dumb. I don't think it's going to last. I think once this kind of calms down or blows over, that it'll get better for him. But it's going to be a long and tough road for him. And I don't envy it. I feel bad for the guy in that aspect because Tyrus was right when he said that here's a guy talking about his daughter and who she's dating. This isn't Hulk Hogan talking about, black people in the middle of the ring. So it is different. It doesn't necessarily make what he said right, but it is different. And there's got to be some kind of compassion or some mercy shown to him because he needs a chance to be
Terry Bollea.
Well, yeah, exactly. But he also needs a chance to be sorry. You know what I mean? He needs a chance to be forgiven and to learn. I mean, he's not going to learn if we just bury the guy.
But I mean, but the thing is, you keep saying bury the guy. Terry Bollea buried Terry Bollea.
Okay, Vince.
But it's true.
Vince McMahon didn't screw Terry Bollea. Terry Bollea screwed Terry Bollea. I mean, you're right in that aspect. I mean, he's a 60-some-odd-year-old man doing a sex tape. There's problem number one.
Hang on 1 second. You keep saying he did a sex tape like he had carnal knowledge of being filmed on tape.
Didn't he set up the camera?
No. It was Bubba the Love Sponge and his wife that set the camera up.
Wait. And I apologize. I'm not hip to that part. You mean to tell me Bubba and his ex-wife at the time set up the camera? What, are they going to frame Hulk Hogan?
Yeah, and
oh my gosh!
On the tape, they are. Listen, hang on a second.
Stop.
Shut up. On the tape, they have said this is now our retirement plan.
Wow. Craziness, sir. And don't tell me to shut up. Because first off, you can't make me. And secondly, don't you have a double extra medium shirt to put on?
You son of a bitch.
But I mean, the seriousness of it is that he said something stupid. It's definitely the wrong thing to say. And if he truly feels that way about black people, then that's unfortunate. I think he's paying the price ultimately. But I tried to bring this up to Tyrus when he was talking, and I didn't want to interrupt the guy. But WWE has stated they lost $50 million because of this. I don't know if I buy that, but
no, their stock plummeted, and they lost $50 million.
Yeah, because of what Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea said. That's harsh. So to say that the word doesn't have power, well, WWE's got $50 million of reasons that it does. And that sucks. You know why? Because it shouldn't have power, but it gets abused and used by all walks of life, not just white or black people.
But, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Tyrus said it only has power if you give it power.
Well, I mean, everybody gives it power. Tyrus may have a point on that. I can't disagree with that, but everybody else around us, unfortunately, do give it power, or does give it power.
Yes.
I mean, it sucks because you're right, but I don't say the word. I hate the word. I think it's stupid. I think, Mark James and I have had this debate before. I think it's just disrespectful as hell to say something like that, especially the connotation that it means. And I know that Mark James would never say that in that aspect, but at the same time, it's messed up because if you sit in a room, let's say you're at a bar, and there's two black guys and a white guy, and the two black guys are going back and forth, and one of them says it in the slang setting, and the white guy tries to say it in that same setting, he's the racist in that group. How messed up is that? And, I mean, I just think that I think Tyrus is right in that regard because people take everything so super seriously. And because of that, it really makes a lot of people, I want to say, uncomfortable because they're almost like afraid to talk.
Sorry, I was afraid to talk.
See, I knew it. Well, Corey's a racist anyway, so that's not.
Well, yeah, I hate everybody. I think we talked about that. earlier in the show.
But I thought we agreed that you were a racist because you don't like Rey Mysterio.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, Corey loves black people. He especially loves being called a white devil.
Well, you know, that's part of being a bondsman. We're not allowed to talk about that on this show.
10-4, sir. Sorry about that. My apologies. I didn't mean to, cross the streams.
Yeah, well, you know.
But I mean, the whole deal with Hogan, it opens a lot of eyes to how much of that conversation happens in an everyday atmosphere. How come Michael Hayes wasn't called out?
He was. Mark Henry liked to beat the shit out of him.
Let's see, where was that?
Like to really? Is that even a phrase?
That's a country phrase, boy.
140.29.
Eddie, you marking it down? What time I said the cuss word?
140.29.
Okay, well, at least I haven't dropped any major cusses.
I'll say this: you're doing a lot better, and
because see, let me also give you this one, and folks, we'll do this part live. See, when we put everything up on the podcast side of live, I have to make that little addendum on there if there is explicit language, and iTunes carries that, and I'm sure they block certain people from downloading it. Which, if I have to put it as explicit, I'm not going to lie.
But you want to know what though? I mean, all seriousness, WrestleRage has never been a show for children. I appreciate the children listening. I know Stan loves the kids under 13.
Whoa, okay. You really want to go down that road there, Mr. Rogers? Really?
I'm just saying.
Let's go on down to the neighborhood, huh? Shall we?
Be careful you don't get caught with that 13-year-old little boy.
Wow.
But seriously, this show is...
So Corey can't cuss, but he can certainly make unnecessary comments.
Hey, you know what? I gotta get the heat somehow.
Ratings
you know that? I gotta get my heat. So I gotta get my heat back. Okay, but I mean, like, this show has never been for kids. It's always been a show driven towards the smart wrestling fans, the fans of our age. So if you have you let your child listen to my show. Excuse me, our show. I bet
you don't have a show.
I beg your pardon. Our show.
Thank you.
You're a piss poor parent.
Well, I don't agree with that because we've done a great job of keeping ourselves, I don't want to say PG necessarily, but I think we've done a great job of keeping it relatively clean. We certainly have had our share of shows where we didn't, but I don't think it's a repetitive issue. I just think it happens from time to time. And I kind of get a kick out every time I hear Corey talk, and all of a sudden I hear beep. It makes me feel good because it means I didn't have to hear Corey's voice at that moment.
You're a son of... You know what, folks? Stan, how is the new... how's your new van doing? Did you get those box of lollipops I sent you?
You know what? No, I haven't. I'm still peeling away the cardboard cobwebs as I try to make the best of a bad situation. Life hands you lemons, make lemonade, or throw it at people. I don't know.
When life hands you lemons, go buy the tequila and do shots.
Amen, sir. Amen. You know what? Here lately, I haven't yet, but it's tempting.
Then I'd like to recommend Crown Royal Apple.
Never had it. That sounds good, actually.
Actually, it's really good. And actually, that was the sponsor for the Jeff Kyle 400 at the Brickyard this afternoon.
Nice. Hey, speaking of the Brickyard, who won? I missed that.
Kyle Busch.
Yes.
3 in a row.
That man, he's the next one. He's next up. I'm telling you.
Hey, folks, I can drive this car left as fast as I can, god dang it.
Okay, let me lay
Corey,
it out
you
there.
can barely drive your car straight. Maybe you shouldn't be the guy making fun of how to drive.
Logistically speaking, today, and one of the trophies that he got was the large Crown Royal crown, velvet covered, of course, with the purple pillow, to which I'm going to sit back and say, I am jealous. Although one of the proudest things that I've ever gotten was a good friend of mine who actually is celebrating his birthday this weekend. Beyond Ringside alumni, the man called Evil, Adam Smith, actually enrolled me into Beyond Ringside Original.
Okay.
actually enrolled me in the Order of the Crown, which I still have that certificate. I'm very proudly framed and in storage right now. But yeah, if you have not had a chance to try the new Crown Apple, oh my God, it's good. That is the easy way to say it.
Well, Corey and I don't have an argument for this, so we'll just take a small bow.
There you go. You'll take a 10 bell.
That's right.
Or maybe 7 Aztec medallions.
Okay. Hey, how about the upcoming NXT takeover in Brooklyn getting booed with the announcement at Full Sail?
Of course, they wanted to have it at Full Sail.
Right. They wanted that, but Full Sail only has, 300 or 400 seats. I know the great folks over at Full Sail University tweeted me back with the number of seats, and I think it was 300 or 400. It's somewhere in my Twitter favorites.
On the Twitter?
On the Twitter?
On the Twitter. The Twitter. Hello, folks. This is WrestleRage here.
Not the British WrestleRage. Please, God.
Hello, folks. This is the WrestleRage live on the Beyond Ringside Radio. I don't know. I think NXT TakeOver is going to be freaking badass. I think the NXT portion of the show is going to put SummerSlam to shame.
You know what? I think you might be right. NXT remains the top wrestling product on television right now. Ring of Honor with
for the WWE market or for just the wrestling market?
I'll just say mainstream because there's a lot of shows out there right now that are doing pretty good. Jay Lethal as top guy in Ring of Honor is pretty phenomenal, and I can't wait to see that one.
He is so phenomenal.
He's more phenomenal than AJ Styles.
That they changed the time slot on Friday, and it is no longer on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is visiting Destination America.
Which sucks.
Here's the thing. Why is it that nobody got upset when TNA got the kick to the curb, but everybody's upset with Ring of Honor? And Ring of Honor is doing the same basic thing that TNA was doing. Now, granted, Ring of Honor's product is better. Can't knock that. But TNA faithful were like, "Oh no, nothing's wrong. It's okay. It's going to be great." No, it hasn't been great. But everybody gets upset when Ring of Honor gets pushed.
Okay.
TNA got pushed for Ring of Honor, and nobody complained. I don't get that.
Well, see, I can jump on that one for a second because most of the people who are saying stuff about TNA haven't watched the product in a while. Most of the people who are sitting back yammering about Impact Wrestling haven't watched it in a year and a half, 2 years. Go look at some of the message boards on some of the rag sites that are out there, and I'm not going to mention anyone in particular, but a lot of people know. When I go around, I read the comments. And I had this discussion during BR Live. Oh, man, TNA sucks. They haven't done anything for a long time. When's the last time you watched them? 3 years ago, man. No, Dave's not here. Knock, knock, knock. Cheech and Chong reference. And the
keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
There you go.
Cheech and Chong up at smoke.
If you've watched the product over the last few months, they've done well. Especially going back to an accentuation of the in-ring action through good talent.
Well, let me ask you a question then.
Yes.
Because I agree with you, their in-ring product is pretty good. But if they've done so well, how come their ratings keep falling?
Because, man, you got a lot of people who haven't watched the product who still say it sucks. And therefore, a lot of people who want to watch it aren't going to say anything or aren't going to watch it because they feel like that Bubba is going to turn around. Man, you're watching that crap? Well, if you aren't watching it, you don't have a right to talk about it.
Or they don't have the channel.
But well, thank you. That was actually what I was getting to. Because conversely, people say the same basic thing about WWE, and they still pull in 3 to 4 million viewers a week.
How many people do you know that don't have? How many people do you know that do not have sci-fi?
That don't have sci-fi?
Yeah,
I don't know anybody that doesn't have sci-fi.
How many people do you know that do not have the USA Network?
I don't think that's even possible at this point.
How many people do you know that do not have Destination America?
Corey, I don't think you do.
I have it now, but I didn't have it up until about 3 months ago.
How many people do you know that don't have El Rey?
I didn't have it up until a few months ago.
Okay.
When I switched over to Dish Network, I was paying Comcast $200 a month, and I didn't have those channels. I'm now paying Dish Network $69 a month, and I have those channels.
Wait a minute. Wait. You were paying $200 a month for Comcast, and you didn't have El Rey? I pay $178 for their triple play package, and I got El Rey and Destination America. Crazy. But you know what? I still can't get Ring of Honor on TV. Well, I mean, before they got to Destination America.
See, there you go. There's that preconceived set. But and the fact of the matter is, Vince McMahon took his product from being a syndicated and a almost invisible television package to USA, which helped build the USA Network. He took it. He took it to the national network, the Nashville Network, National Network, Spike TV, and helped grow. Because there is no doubt. Look, I'm devil's advocate for a second there. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that World Wrestling Entertainment, formerly known as the World Wrestling Federation, formerly known as Titan Sport Incorporated, because you have to remember, this company has been around for a number of years. When did Vince Jr. buy the product? Early 80s. When did Hulk Hogan, he who shall not be named, Chris Benoit, win that first championship? 84. That is 30. Well, wait, hold on. That's 31 years ago.
I mean, I can't necessarily disagree with you, but it remains to be seen who the Iron Sheik actually lost the title to. All we know is, for some strange reason, he was no longer champion.
No, he lost the belt in Madison Square Gardens to Hulk Hogan in less than 30 seconds.
No. He lost it in Madison Square Garden. It was a short match, but the details are quite unclear as to who he lost it to.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My bad.
Stan, you're not funny.
Still not sure.
I thought he lost it to a bronzed department store mannequin.
Sterling Golden, I heard, was in the building that night.
Yeah, very possibly. Or Eddie.
What about I think Thunderlips was there too.
It actually could have been. No, I think it was Terry Boulder.
It may have been Terry Boulder. I know he was calling the Iron Sheik a meatball. No, that's Thunderlips.
I heard it was Terry the Hulk Boulder.
No, you can't use that one. Foul.
Why not?
Because you're still using the H word. You're still using the H word. You have to be obscure enough, but yet clear enough at the same time. By putting you put the H word qualifier on there, that eliminated any and all doubt as to whom you're referring.
Yeah. What are we talking about again?
I have no damn idea. But see, when that belt changed hands, when the Iron Sheik dropped that title under mysterious circumstances to he who shall not be named,
right,
31 and a half years ago. The culture in the United States of America, and I say this without any fear of reprisal on the horizon, the culture has changed. The attention span has dropped. I'm 49 years old.
Oh, bastard.
There you go. 153.32. And
best ever.
Or in the word, if you've not seen Age of Ultron yet, I'm going to play spoiler. Language. There you go. Thank you, Captain America. I remember watching at Boutwell Auditorium Ric Flair defend against Bob Armstrong in a 60-minute, shoot 48, time limit draw. I had a stopwatch. I actually clocked the match. 48. But the thing about it is, in this day and age, it is so rare to see an Iron Man match because of the fact that the attention span of people has been relegated from Gone with the Wind down to that of a gnat. That is why the people if you notice, the critical acclaim coming out of Peach State for their Iron Man match, Tyson Dean, Jimmy Rave, everybody were raved about that match. Sorry, Jimmy, had to use the word.
Wow. No pun intended.
No pun intended, seriously. That's a shoot.
And Tyson Dean, I still owe you a kick in the balls.
There you go. But the fact of the matter is, everybody wants a promotion to come on the scene to immediately knock WWE out of that number one spot. They've been in existence for 31 plus years.
Yep.
You can't do that in 2 weeks, in 2 months, in 2 semesters, in 2 periods. You can't do it in 2 years. You might be able to do it in 2 decades. But right now, there has not been a company on the national scene that has been around for 2 decades on the national scene.
Amen to that, sir. And you know what's cool is because he mentions this is the problem. And this isn't just a TNA problem, by the way. This is just these fly-by-nights that come on the scene and think they're going to knock them off. Hulk Hogan had the wherewithal in WCW to tell Eric Bischoff, you're not going to bury Vince McMahon. You can't do it. You don't know what you're getting into by starting that fight. Why he didn't have the presence of mind to say that to Dixie Carter, I'll never know.
Because Dixie doesn't effing listen.
Is there... Okay, here's a good question, and I know we're coming up on the end of the show here, but something to think about. If there's no Dixie Carter, is there a TNA?
Yes.
Corey?
Sure.
Interesting. I happen to think they would be the opposite. I think Panda Energy wouldn't get behind it unless it was a Carter product. But it's interesting because Dixie Carter could be the one that gets removed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't think we've seen the end of TNA yet. Unfortunately, they're dying a slow death. Slow and miserable and painful.
But see, that doesn't
help. But I don't
matter.
think we've seen it yet.
Making comments like that doesn't help matters any, because to people who listen who haven't watched the product yet or are just discovering the product, oh man, they're already talking about this place as a tombstone. Why should I bother watching it?
Or having a guy or having a guy on your show that works for the company and then saying that place is almost a tombstone.
Well, and here's, with all due respect to Tyrus.
Tyrus.
With all due respect to Tyrus, the problem isn't talent related. We've already agreed to that.
You're right. It's the front office
and even
that sucks
as he brought it up, you know, he's going to go in there and do the best possible job he can, regardless of what happens.
Because
the problem,
he's a professional.
Though, unfortunately, is that the company itself is being led astray by incompetence. And that's not Tyrus's fault, and that's not the fans' fault. It's just unfortunate that, in my opinion, and it's strictly that, just my opinion. I don't speak for all wrestling fans or anything like that, but in my opinion, TNA is dying a slow death.
I don't give up until the final show airs. Until then, I realize there might be a chance. But see, the constant negativity that has been in place, and a lot of it is earned.
Right.
A lot of it is earned. Because I'm going to say this right now. And Corey, I almost expect you to automatically disagree with me on this.
Brother.
But I'm going to lay it out there. When Jeff Jarrett, the almighty Double J, returned to Impact Wrestling before Slammiversary, and he had his arm candy on his side. You know, the one thing that I heard more than anything else, not just on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, whatever, but heard from wrestling fans by voice, was the factor of, why is Karen Angle Jarrett out there? He centered so many things. Karen, with the situation between Jeff, Kurt, and Karen should have never been played out on television. That turned off so many fans. And for Jeff Jarrett to walk back into Impact Wrestling to start talking about the King of the Mountain match in Global Force with Karen Jarrett on his arm, much less give her a damn microphone. No, Double J, I know you listen to Beyond Ringside Radio on occasion, and I know you've heard my voice. We've met. No one cares about Karen. She's not in-ring talent. She's not an executive. She's not an authority figure. She is Kurt Angle's ex, and she's your wife. Other than that, nobody cares.
Well, I care. She's got two great talents.
Her left boob and her right boob, right?
I think it was certainly
hang on a
disrespectful to bring his ex back into the fold without telling Kurt Angle.
I think that sucked. I think it was bad business, which is what TNA is known for. Corey?
Right, yeah. Corey, you had some?
I mean, absolutely 100%. We talked about this a few weeks ago, I think, when it happened. You know, that's like, you don't do that. You keep, you keep the locker room ish in the back, and you do business.
Exactly. And if they had just wanted to bring Jarrett in, I'm sure Angle wouldn't have had a problem with it. Angle's matches with Jarrett were good.
And maybe Kurt Angle didn't have a problem with it. Maybe he really knew. I mean, we won't ever know.
That's true. None of us were there, so we won't ever really know.
Because right now, in this day and time, Kurt Angle has more important things to worry about than Jeff and Karen.
Also true, and to that, I do wish him the best of luck. I hope he heals up very fast.
You know,
and Tyrus, like I said, when Angle's healed up, he's coming for your boy Strap.
Also, because I'm sure he's listening now that he's gotten his son to bed. Tyrus, for the record, I never said anything about Funk on a Roll.
He did say it, brother.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Corey, you're just trying to hang Stan out to dry. But see,
well, I mean, he tried to get me beat up in a tag match on a boat. So I mean,
there you go.
This is cool.
Yeah, I'm coming for you, Doc Gallows.
Corey's like some strippers I know, vengeful for no reason whatsoever.
You know,
he's a rebel without a cause.
He's a rebel without a clue.
Rebel without a hamburger.
There you go. Crystal should be open in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, well, a real Yankee doesn't eat the dish.
But you're not a Yankee.
So
you're a Spanky.
You know what, folks?
You went a minute and a half between fecal references. I'm impressed.
We are going to wind it down for the night.
Hey, I'm sorry that I was late, everybody. I love our listeners.
We didn't even know you were gone.
Yes, we did.
I did try to call into To Be Determined show, but my phone decided it didn't like that.
It wanted to crap out, yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to take this around the table. I'm gonna steal the thunder for a second because I always love it when y'all get a chance to say it the way you really want to say it. Corey, Smirk, the Champion, last call, last thoughts.
You know what? At the end of the day, Terry Bollea has got to pay for his sins with his mouth.
Brother.
Hulk Hogan will be back in the WWE. May not be today, may not be tomorrow. He didn't kill anybody. He used inappropriate language that is offensive to people of a certain race and certain culture. Shame on him for doing it. He'll be back. He will not falter. He will not wave. Hulkamania will come back stronger than ever. Brother!
Stan Grubb, final thoughts, last call.
First off, awesome to talk to Tyrus. I look forward to seeing his next comic book reference. But also to the Hulkster, I have to agree with Corey. It sucks that he did it. It was a stupid move, and I hope that he's learned from it. But WWE without Hulk Hogan just doesn't make any sense. They'll bring him back. It won't be soon, but they'll bring him back.
You know, on my side of the coin, in my little corner of the world here in Studio One, I sit back and say this. I don't like what Hogan said. I don't have to like what Hogan said, but I don't have to hate what Hogan said.
Yeah, but Terry Bollea said it, son.
I know. You know what I meant, ding dong. I'll put my foot straight between your non-existent gonads.
He keeps trying to bring it back to that, like that's going to make it any better.
It's not going to make it any better because the extension of the... For every
Hogan and Bollea is the same guy, and if you have any question about that, ask Hogan. Sorry, there's your answer.
There you go.
I think he's working the shoot, sir.
When you get so worked into the shoot, into the work, and you work yourself into a shoot, Jack.
I don't have to like, dislike, hate what Terry Bollea said and under what circumstances it was said. the right of any father is to be protective of his daughter and want to make sure that no one takes advantage of his daughter, because no matter how old that individual becomes, she will always be daddy's little girl. I know, because when I got married 12 years ago, lo and behold, the gentleman who was her father made it very clear. He had a gun, and that's his little girl, even though she was in her 30s when we got married. Every father...
Sadly, I've learned that lesson very well.
Every father is going to be protective of his child.
And rightfully so.
Or children. To the extent that some parents will kill for their kids. Some will critically injure. Some will maim. Others...
Some will inhale their microphones through their nose.
Pretty much. Thank you, Corey. But from there, notice he stopped breathing. Smart Rage will be unconscious in 30 seconds or less. Others will just get really pissed and use foul language and words they shouldn't use. Because no matter what, in this era, and remember this is only 7 years ago, in the 2000s, since the turn of the millennium, personal voice recorders, smartphones, MP3 recorders, dumb phones, whatever, anybody can be recorded at any time saying anything if the words exit their mouth. So if you're worried that you might be in the middle of an anger rant saying things that you're going to regret tomorrow morning, or something that could come back and bite you in the ass, don't say it. Be respectful of the circumstance. If you don't like the guy, just say you don't like the guy. If you don't trust him, say you don't trust him. It's that damn simple. You have an IQ above dried wallpaper paste, and this ain't Jerry Springer. Trust me. You know how to control what you say and when you say it. This coming from the person who inadvertently dropped the F-bomb in the first 5 minutes of Beyond Ringside Live this afternoon. And I apologized for about a minute and a half afterwards. Yeah.
Lord, I apologize.
Hashtag hell damn ass. But as far as it goes, that's as far as it goes. And I let it drop from there. Stan Grubb, how can everybody get in touch with you?
Well, for the time being, you can still catch me on Twitter at Stan Grubb. However, what I would caution you to is the account is protected. So all follow requests will be indeed have to be approved or declined. I'm on Facebook every now and again, not as much as recently. And here is really the best place to find me on Tuesdays if I'm available, and Sundays when we're on WrestleRage.
Well, if you don't have a prior engagement on Sundays.
Smart Grade, shameless plugs.
I would like to plug Chord A into Chord B and make Chord C.
How can everybody find you on social, Nimrod?
You know what? You guys know where to find me. You know who I am. You know where to find me.
At Smart Rage, all caps.
You could find me on Twitter at Fast Eddie Lane, Layne. You could find me at DJ. Oh, never mind.
I'll kick you in your non-existent gonads.
Kayfabe.
Kayfabe is not dead, Stan.
Right? He just did it. He just kayfabe.
He just tried.
He kayfabe me, bro.
It's on life support. I'll kayfabe that conversation later.
You know what, folks? Find me on. You know what? Follow our show account at WrestleRage BR.
Yes.
We need some followers.
Please follow our account, for the love of God, for the love of all things that are holy. Please follow our account
and follow
the leader.
You know, I want to say one other thing before we go. I want to give a big shout out to Michael Prunker, our little brother, the kid.
Hey, the kid.
Had the Bullet Babe on his show at Podcrap on Twitter.
Yes, yep.
Amber O'Neill Gallows had her on there last Wednesday. Hell of an interview. Give it a listen. The kid's a college graduate. We graduated the son, Stan.
I'm so proud.
I love you.
So if he gets rich and famous, is he going to put us in an old folks home?
Probably.
Crap.
Well, at least he'll put Corey.
Wipes my ass first.
Oh God.
2 hours, 21 minutes, and 4 seconds.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on WrestleRage Radio, right on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Really appreciate everybody's patience and time. Thanks so much to Tyrus for joining us. Thank you to everybody for listening. We'll see you next week when we have somebody maybe coming on and we don't know yet.
Maybe it's Al Snow, and maybe we'll hit him with a sofa. Feel the rage, folks. We'll see you next Sunday. Feel the rage. Yeah.
Brother.